$1.6 billion went to dead people, and the checks were cashed. Obviously fraud. OMB has estimated that in fiscal year 2023, we sent out $1.3 billion of checks to dead people, which were cashed. Obviously fraud. When you die in America, your name is sent to the Social Security Administration. As you know, you become part of the master death file.
Hello, Patriots. Welcome back to American Mindset, the channel where we stand for truth, liberty, and holding our government accountable. Today, we're diving into a shocking exchange between Senator John Kennedy and OMB nominee Russell Vought, as they expose jaw-dropping levels of fraud and waste in our federal spending. Stick around, because what I'm about to share will make your blood boil.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Vought, welcome.
Thank you, Senator.
In my judgment, I do not know a single person in Washington or outside Washington who knows more about the federal budget than you do. I used to read your suggestions during President Trump's first term, many of which Congress ignored. We shouldn't have. I am delighted that the president picked you. I have read that since 2019, the population of America has increased 2%, and our spending has increased 55%. Under President Biden, I wish him well. If we had discovered life on Mars, he would have sent it money. Is that sustainable?
Senator, it's totally unsustainable, and the problem is that you go on these trajectories that we are currently on, and you don't know when you're going to get to the point of which you have some major problems as an economy, as a country, and we know that historically.
I hope you'll start with the low-hanging fruit. There's a lot. When we sent out stimulus checks to save our economy, $1.6 billion went to dead people, and the checks were cashed. Obviously fraud. OMB has estimated that in fiscal year 2023, we sent out $1.3 billion of checks to dead people, which were cashed. Obviously fraud. When you die in America, your name is sent to the Social Security Administration. As you know, you become part of the master death file. Senator Carper and I discovered that Social Security would not share that information with any other department of government. So we passed a bill saying you have to share it with Treasury and other people who write checks, so we'll stop paying dead people. Duh. We got pushback, believe it or not, on the bill. We had to agree to a trial period, and that trial period ends in 2026. Will you help us make that program permanent so we can stop paying dead people?
Yes, Senator.
Now, you served in Washington for years. You're going to be challenging the status quo. You're going to be called crazy. Many people also called Noah crazy. And then the rains came, and all the fact checkers died. You have to persevere. Now, I'm not asking you to get ahead of President Trump. But if you were king for a day, tell me how you would save money in the federal budget without impacting the American people?
Thank you, Senator. I think it's the strategy that we had in the first term, which is to go really and take a very close look at the agencies that are spending and wasting money, and I believe weaponized at times against the American people. When they put a 77-year-old Navy veteran in jail, Joe Robertson, for 18 months for building 4 ponds on his ranch to be prepared for wildfires, that's the EPA. I think we have to look at that, and we have to look at the agencies that Congress has a vote on every single year through the appropriations process. And then I think we need to go after the mandatory programs that Senator Cornyn mentioned that are keeping people out of the workforce because they have become not just a social safety net, but they have become a benefit hammock, and increasingly so in the aftermath of COVID, as many of these policies were impacting people's decisions to go back into the workforce. And I believe, and because we produce budgets along these lines, you can get sizable levels of savings and reforms that can lead to a balanced budget and get us back headed in a fiscal trajectory, not only that we would all be proud of, but we could say, this is going to keep us from fiscal ruin.
My time's expired. Ella Porter, do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. Now's your shot. Thank you, Mr. Vought, for your time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Good call there, young lady.
All right, folks, let's get straight to the point. Did you know that $1.6 billion of stimulus money, yes, billion with a B, was sent to dead people? That's right, dead people. And this isn't just a one-time blunder. In fiscal year 2023 alone, under President Biden's administration, another $1.3 billion in checks went to the deceased. Fraud like this is not just frustrating. It's downright insulting to hardworking, tax-paying Americans like you and me. Senator Kennedy nailed it when he said, if we had discovered life on Mars, Biden would have sent it money. Can you imagine that? Meanwhile, everyday Americans are struggling with inflation, skyrocketing gas prices, and a national debt that's completely out of control. But our government is out here writing checks to people who aren't even alive. Here's the real kicker, folks. When someone dies in America, their name is added to something called the Master Death File, a database managed by the Social Security Administration. Simple, right? But guess what? For years, this information wasn't shared with other government departments like the Treasury. Why? Because of bureaucratic red tape and outright incompetence. Thankfully, Senator Kennedy and Senator Carper pushed through a bill to force Social Security to share this data. But get this, they had to agree to a trial period that doesn't even end until 2026. Why on earth would anyone push back against a common-sense law that stops payments to dead people? It's simple, folks. The swamp doesn't want accountability. Let's talk about Russell Vaught's response, because this man gets it. Vought pointed out that the federal government isn't just wasting money. It's actively harming Americans through its mismanagement. He called out the EPA for jailing a 77-year-old Navy veteran, Joe Robertson, just for building ponds on his ranch to prepare for wildfires. This isn't just wasteful, it's tyrannical. Our government has become bloated, inefficient, and weaponized against its own people. Agencies are no longer serving the American taxpayer. They're serving themselves. And Vought is absolutely right when he says we need to take a hard look at these programs and strip them down to the bare essentials. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Since 2019, America's population has grown by just 2%, but federal spending has skyrocketed by 55%. 55%, folks. That's not sustainable. And as Vought warned, if we keep this up, we're heading for fiscal disaster, a crisis that will hurt every single one of us. This right here is why we need bold leadership. We can't keep throwing money at every problem, and we certainly can't keep funding fraud and waste. Vaught's idea of going line by line through the budget, targeting waste, and reforming entitlement programs is the kind of common-sense approach we desperately need. Now, you might be thinking, why does this matter to me? Well, let me tell you, patriots, it matters because this is your money. Every dollar wasted is a dollar taken out of your paycheck, your savings, your future. And if we don't rein in this reckless spending, our children and grandchildren will be the ones left holding the bag. Vaught's right. It's time to stop treating government programs like a benefit hammock and start focusing on getting people back to work. That's not cruel. It's common sense. And it's the only way we'll ever get back to fiscal sanity. So what can we do about it? First, we need to support leaders like Senator Kennedy and Russell Vought, people who are willing to challenge the status quo and stand up for the American taxpayer. Second, we need to hold our representatives accountable. Call them, email them, and demand that they stop the waste and fraud. And third, we need to stay informed and spread the word. Share this video, tell your friends, and let's wake America up. All right, patriots, that's all for today. Remember, The fight for fiscal responsibility starts with us. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to American Mindset, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Together, we can hold the line and protect the American dream for future generations. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and God bless America.